You may think soy sauce is just a simple, salty kitchen staple, dark, flavorful, and perfect for almost every Asian dish. Well, you'd be forgiven for thinking so. It looks harmless and traditional, but here's the catch. Pick the wrong bottle, and you're not getting time-honored fermentation. Instead, you're pouring acid-processed chemicals, artificial flavors, and colored salt water onto your food, all sold as authentic. For seniors watching their sodium or families trying to eat healthy, that's not seasoning. It's industrial chemistry in disguise. In this video, we're counting down 5 soy sauce brands you should avoid at all costs, even if they look authentic on the shelf. Stick around until the end, because we'll reveal 2 safe alternatives you can actually trust: flavorful, traditional, and worth your money. Takeout packets. This is the absolute worst offender. Not fancy budget brands or high-priced bottles, but the tiny soy sauce packets you see in nursing homes, hospitals, and care facilities. And what's inside isn't real soy sauce at all. In 2020, a major food service investigation revealed something shocking. Many institutional soy sauce packets contained no fermented soybeans whatsoever, just water, salt, corn syrup, and caramel coloring. Laboratories confirmed these were industrial chemicals designed to mimic soy sauce without any brewing or fermentation. Open a packet, and the flavor hits sharp and chemical, leaving a metallic aftertaste. These packets are being served daily to some of the most vulnerable populations, seniors with compromised immune systems, disguised as traditional condiments. Why is this happening? Institutional suppliers rely on cheap, shelf-stable, portion-controlled packets. Regulatory oversight is minimal compared to retail products, so facilities often receive industrial soy-style seasoning instead of real soy sauce. Nursing home administrators assume they're serving proper condiments, but residents are unknowingly consuming artificial liquids with no nutritional value and extremely high sodium. This isn't just ingredient fraud, it's systematic deception targeting people who cannot advocate for themselves. Families often assume their loved ones are eating real food, never realizing that something as basic as soy sauce has been replaced with a chemical shortcut. The takeaway is clear. If you have elderly relatives in care facilities, check the labels. Real soy sauce lists fermented soybeans as the first ingredient. Anything else, especially water, corn syrup, or artificial coloring, is an industrial imitation. After exposing acid-processed chemicals, reduced sodium deceptions, rushed factory brewing, and even premium bottles loaded with artificial additives, it might seem like authentic soy sauce has vanished. But there are few brands that still honor slow fermentation, delivering real umami without chemical enhancers. Great Value Soy Sauce. At first glance, Great Value Soy Sauce seems like a smart choice. The label promises naturally brewed, and the price, often under $2, makes it feel like a bargain compared to $4 for name brands. For seniors on fixed incomes, it looks like smart shopping. But here's the catch. Real soy sauce fermentation takes 6 to 18 months, developing rich flavors and natural umami. Great Value cuts that down to 3 to 4 weeks using accelerated fermentation with added enzymes and temperature tricks. What you get isn't aged complexity, it's rushed chemistry. The economics reveal the shortcuts. Traditional brewing costs $3 to $4 per bottle in materials, warehouse space, and careful monitoring. Great Value sells for $1.89. The only way to make that margin? Cut corners on the process that creates real flavor. Independent taste tests confirm it. Great Value tastes thin, one-dimensional, and overly salty. Pour it next to authentic soy sauce, and the difference is clear. Real sauce clings to the spoon, has deep amber tones, and carries complex flavors. The cheap bottle flows like colored salt water, what speed fermentation produces. For seniors and families watching sodium intake or nutrition, Great Value has hidden costs. You need more sauce to get the same flavor, consuming extra sodium, while missing the amino acids, natural glutamates, and minerals found in real fermented soy sauce. What seems like a bargain ends up being less satisfying, less healthy, and ultimately more expensive per flavor and nutritional value. Traditional breweries employ master brewers who adjust temperature, humidity, and fermentation based on experience. Industrial speed fermentation relies on automated formulas, producing far fewer flavor compounds and using additives to mimic the missing depth. Great Value isn't bad because it's cheap. It's different chemistry in disguise. Skip the false economy and invest in authentic, properly fermented soy sauce that delivers real flavor, umami, and nutrition. La Choy soy sauce. La Choy has been a familiar face in American kitchens for decades. That bright red label promises authentic Oriental flavor, and it's in almost every grocery store. Families have trusted it to make stir-fries taste like restaurant takeout. But here's the truth. Most La Choy soy sauce is not truly fermented. Instead of aging soybeans slowly over months like traditional methods, La Choy uses acid hydrolysis, a chemical process that breaks down soy proteins in hours using hydrochloric acid. The result? A sharp metallic flavor with a bitter aftertaste, far from the rich, rounded complexity of real fermented soy sauce. This isn't just about taste. Acid hydrolysis produces a chemical called 3-MCPD, which has been studied by the FDA and European food authorities. High levels of 3-MCPD in animal studies have been linked to kidney and reproductive issues. In other words, what seems like a simple pantry staple is quietly creating industrial byproducts in your kitchen. And don't forget the sodium. 1 tablespoon of La Choy contains roughly 900 milligrams of sodium, about 40% of a child's daily limit. Traditional fermented soy sauce gets its depth from time and natural fermentation, not excessive salt. La Choy uses salt to cover up flavors lost during the chemical process. This shift isn't new. Starting in the 1960s, American soy sauce makers began trading patience for speed. Wooden barrels and careful fermentation gave way to industrial tanks and chemical shortcuts, allowing factories to produce thousands of gallons in the time traditional brewing once took for a few hundred. As demand grew and profits mattered more than authenticity, these shortcuts became standard. Even today, La Choy continues to market this chemically processed sauce as authentic, meeting FDA limits for 3-MCPD, but offering family flavors created in a lab, not a fermenting barrel. For parents trying to cook healthy meals, it's a hidden problem. You think you're adding real Asian flavor, but you're serving a chemically engineered imitation. The good news? Real fermented soy sauce isn't more expensive, and it delivers true umami, natural complexity, and far less sodium without industrial byproducts. So next time you grab that red labeled bottle, ask yourself, do you want chemical speed or real, time-honored flavor? Have you noticed the difference between real fermented soy sauce and mass-produced brands? Which soy sauce do you trust in your kitchen? Lee Kum Kee Premium Soy Sauce. When you see that elegant bottle with gold trim and traditional Chinese characters, it feels like you're holding history in your hands. Authentic Hong Kong flavor since 1888. Premium packaging, heritage marketing, it all screams craftsmanship. But here's the truth. Premium price doesn't always mean premium ingredients. Food scientists analyzing Lee Kum Kee's premium formula found sodium benzoate, caramel coloring, and flavor enhancers like disodium inosinate, the same artificial additives used in cheap grocery brands. What you're paying for is marketing, packaging, and a premium label, not better brewing. Inside the bottle, there's little evidence of slow, natural fermentation. Real aged soy sauce develops complex, rounded flavors over months. Lee Kum Kee shortcuts that process with chemical enhancers, boosting salty flavor but missing the depth of true fermentation. Investigations show production happens in high-volume industrial facilities, not artisanal brew houses. The traditional methods on the label refer to recipe origins, not current production. Compare that to small-batch craft-brewed soy sauce. Similar prices, but genuinely aged with no artificial chemicals. For health-conscious families or seniors, Lee Kum Kee Premium is mostly markup for luxury packaging, not a better product. Sodium content is still high, about 900 milligrams per tablespoon, and the flavor enhancers make it taste saltier than natural. Well, that beautiful bottle may look authentic, but you're paying for marketing and shortcuts, not slow brewed quality. Skip the premium theater and invest in soy sauce that's genuinely fermented and naturally flavorful. Kikkoman Less Sodium Soy Sauce. Your doctor told you to watch your sodium, so you switched to Kikkoman's Less Sodium Soy Sauce. Trusted brand, heart-healthy messaging, reduced sodium claims, you felt responsible for managing your blood pressure. But here's the catch. Reducing sodium isn't as simple as it sounds. Food companies replace salt with potassium chloride and other substitutes, which can interact dangerously with common heart medications. 1 tablespoon still contains 575 milligrams of sodium, plus potassium compounds that seniors on ACE inhibitors or potassium-sparing drugs shouldn't consume without medical supervision. Taste the difference yourself. The regular version is smooth and balanced. The less sodium version tastes artificially sweet, with a chemical aftertaste. That's because companies add corn syrup and flavor enhancers to make up for the missing salt. The medical irony is serious. Seniors taking medications like lisinopril, enalapril, or spironolactone risk potassium spikes, which can become dangerous within hours. Meanwhile, the added sugar and artificial flavors can also affect blood glucose, undermining diabetes management. Emergency rooms have documented cases of seniors hospitalized from hyperkalemia after switching to potassium-based low-sodium products without knowing the risks. Dr. Sarah Chen, a geriatric cardiologist at Mayo Clinic, explains, "We tell patients to reduce sodium, but we don't have time to check every food label for potassium compounds or additives. We trust that heart healthy means safe, but that trust is being exploited." Unlike medications, which require extensive testing for interactions, the food industry can combine generally recognized as safe ingredients without testing how they affect people taking multiple prescriptions. For seniors trying to follow medical advice, Kikkoman less sodium is a hidden risk disguised as a health solution. The fine print warns about potassium, but most people don't read it. Your doctor said less sodium, not potassium compounds that could interact with your heart medication. The safest approach? Use regular soy sauce in smaller amounts instead. It's more predictable, safer, and avoids hidden chemical surprises. Are you on heart medication and using reduced sodium products? Did your doctor ever warn you about potassium interactions? If you're questioning what's really in your condiments, hit subscribe. We expose food industry shortcuts and help you make safer choices for your family every week. Finally, 2 soy sauce brands that still remember what fermentation means. Safe. Pick 2. Kikkoman Naturally Brewed Soy Sauce. In a world full of chemical shortcuts, artificial enhancers, and rushed production, Kikkoman Naturally Brewed stands out by doing something radical. It keeps fermentation honest. Kikkoman follows traditional brewing methods that take months, not weeks. Whole soybeans, roasted wheat, salt, and water ferment naturally under controlled conditions. Enzymes break down the proteins to create real amino acids and complex flavors. No acid hydrolysis, no chemical accelerants, no lab shortcuts. Third-party testing confirms what your taste buds notice immediately. The sauce has a clear amber color, balanced sodium levels, and a deep, layered umami that only comes from slow fermentation. The liquid flows with a slight viscosity, smells warm and rounded instead of sharp, and tastes rich. Salt first, then wheat sweetness, then lingering savory depth. Nothing artificial, nothing rushed, nothing that requires warnings. Compared to the soy sauces we exposed, acid-processed shortcuts, premium bottles loaded with artificial enhancers, or budget brands stripped of authentic complexity, Kikkoman delivers real-time, real fermentation, real flavor. For seniors or anyone managing sodium intake, the naturally balanced formulation means you need less sauce to achieve full flavor. Natural glutamates enhance taste without overloading on salt. Use it in dishes where authentic flavor matters: marinades, stir-fries, or dipping sauces. The natural fermentation handles heat properly, developing rich flavors instead of turning bitter like artificial alternatives. Kikkoman proves that traditional brewing doesn't need premium pricing or marketing gimmicks. Just soybeans, wheat, salt, water, and time. The way fermentation was always meant to work. Want to know how to spot naturally fermented soy sauce on the label? Look for ingredients like fermented soybeans and wheat listed first. No acids, no flavor enhancers, no shortcuts. Safe. Pick 1. Yamasa Soy Sauce. Yamasa soy sauce delivers authentic complexity that mass-produced brands try and fail to replicate with chemical shortcuts and flavor enhancers. This is soy sauce built on centuries of expertise. Since 1645, Yamasa has been fermenting soy sauce in Choshi, Japan, where ocean air and stable temperatures create perfect conditions. Their process remains traditional: whole soybeans, roasted wheat, sea salt, and thyme. No artificial accelerants, no preservatives, no shortcuts. Chefs and food testers confirm what you can taste immediately. The sauce has a deep mahogany color with golden highlights, a rich aroma blending roasted grains with subtle smokiness, and a layered flavor that develops complexity rather than hitting one-note saltiness. Open a bottle and the difference is clear. It pours with natural thickness, smells warm and rounded, and tastes balanced. Sweet, salty, and umami notes complementing each other perfectly. Yamasa represents specialty brewing done right. There's no marketing hype, no artificial enhancers, just generations of perfected fermentation techniques. For home cooks, the natural complexity means you can use less sauce while achieving richer, deeper flavors. Real fermentation produces amino acids that enhance food instead of masking it with excessive salt. Use Yamasa where subtlety matters. Sushi, sashimi, delicate fish dishes, or any recipe where artificial additives would overpower natural flavors. The traditional brewing ensures flavors remain stable under heat and cooking. Choose Yamasa to experience soy sauce as it was meant to taste: patient, authentic, and full of depth. Authenticity doesn't have to be expensive, it just takes time and care. And there you have it. From chemicals pretending to be fermented soy sauce, to heart-healthy formulas that can clash with medications, rushed budget brands, premium bottles loaded with artificial enhancers, and institutional packets serving colored saltwater to seniors, we've revealed what's really behind those familiar labels. The truth? The soy sauce industry counts on confusion. They rely on people not understanding fermentation, ignoring ingredient lists, and assuming labels like naturally brewed, premium, or reduced sodium automatically mean quality. Convenience and brand loyalty keep you buying shortcuts while thinking you're serving authentic flavor. The good news, now you know what to avoid and what to trust. Choosing naturally fermented soy sauce, checking for artificial additives, and remembering that real fermentation takes months. These small steps make a huge difference in flavor, nutrition, and safety. Your family deserves condiments made with tradition, not chemicals. That's why we make these videos, for you. If today's soy sauce exposé opened your eyes, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More deep dives are coming, from cooking oils to breakfast cereals, to help you choose real food and protect your family's health.